Om Sang Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. On page 86, we're going to read the Vedoktam Ratri Suktam, and then we'll continue and read also the Tantroktam Ratri Suktam on page 89 because they are related, and we'll discuss the relationship in a few moments. Atha Vedoktam Ratri Suktam Om Ratri iti Suktasya Kushika Rishi Ratri Devataga Edri Chandaha Devi Mahatyam Patavu Japini Yoga Om Ratri Vyakyadayati Kurudra Devatskshabhiki Vishwadi Svikyavadita Orbapra Amatya Divato Divadyutaha Jyotisha Bhakatitama Nibrusa Sarma Sprito Shashamya Vyayati Abhiduvasatitama Sanavadyaya Syavayam Itikam Paraprikshiki Prikshina Basati Maga Nigramasu Abhiksata Niparvanto Nipakshina Nisesatya Dardida Yavaya Prikam Yavayastemyam Yayataha Mahasudra Baba Upama Pipisatma Prishnam Yaktamasita Ushari Devayataka Upateka Divakaram Prinishvaduita Diva Ratri Somanya Jayushe Om Atha Tantroktam Ratri Suktam Om Vishweswari Jagadatri Sthiti Sangaratarinim Nitam Bhagavati Vishnur Atvam Tejasa Prabhu Brahmavacha Tvam Swaha Tvam Swada Tvam Yi Vashakara Swaratmika Sudhatame Akshari Nitye Tridama Pratmika Stita Ardhamantrastita Nitya Dhyanucharya Visetata Eva Sanya Savitri, Tvam Devi Chadani Para, Tvayodita Dargate Vishwam, Tvayodita Srijate Jagat, Tvayodita Bhagyate Devi, Tmatyamte Chasarvata, Vishvishta Srishti Rupa Tvam, Sthiti Rupa Chapalane, Tatha Sangriti Rupante, Jagatosya Jagannaye. Mahavidya Mahamaya Mahaveda Mahaspriti Mahamoachapavati Mahadevi Makasuri Prakriti-swam cha sarvasya Gunatraya vibhavini Kalaratir Maharatir Moharatrishta Daruna Tvam Shri Tvam Ishwari Swam Riswam Udhir Madalakshana Laja Pushtis Tata Pushtis Tvam Shanti Shantre Vacha Kargini Sulini Gaurav Gadini Chapini Tata Sangini Chapini Baha Bhushandi Parikayada Somya Somya Prasesha Somya Yaswati Sundari Para Para Bham Parama Tameva Parameshwari Yachakim Chitvachit Vastu Sada Sadva Gilatmike Tasya Sarvasya Yasakti Sadvam Himstu Yasetada Yayatvaya Jagatvatya Jagapatyatiyo Jagat Sovabini Brava Sanitaha Kastam Stotu Mikeshwara Vishnu Sharira Grahanam Mahamishana Evacha Karitaste Yatotasvam Kahastotum Satimam Abed Satvamitam Prabhavagir Surir Udanagir Devi Sanstita Moayarita Duradasha Vasuro Madhikoitaba Prabodam Chatagatswami Niyatamachutu Lugu Olasya Priyata Masya Antumeto Asuro back to page 86 and we'll begin to translate. And now, the praise of the Night of Duality. And the first question comes, why do we want to praise the darkness of duality? And the most obvious answer is that you only know the light because of the darkness. Were there never any darkness, we would never see the light. How could you distinguish light if there were no dark? So the Night of Duality exposes the dawn and the sunrise of unity. And the night, the darkness of ignorance, exposes the light of wisdom. And that's why we're praising her, and we're praising her in such a way as to say, hey, you did your job. You exposed the wisdom. And now we dwell in the light. And thank you very much for leaving. Thank you very much for exposing wisdom to us, showing us the true way, and now you've left. Pranam. So let's begin with our Bini Yoga. Om, da-dum, da-dum, presenting the meditation of the gods for the goddess of night. Kushika is the seer, Gayatri 24 syllables to the verse is the meter. The goddess of night is the deity. This appendage to the presentation of the glory of the goddess is applied in recitation. And now the Durga Shaptashati, the 700 offerings in praise of the goddess Durga, begins actually with the Vedic praise of the night. And it ends with the Vedic praise of the goddess who is unity. And in the middle are 700 verses or 700 oblations which tell us how we got there. How did we make the transition from being subservient to the spell of the goddess of darkness, the delusion of ignorance, to being one with the goddess of unity? That's what our 700 of offerings of the goddess Durga are going to do. Let's begin. Om, the Night of Duality gives individuality in many forms and times perceivable by the divine power of sense. Here, night, this darkness, this delusion of darkness, this ignorance, is giving birth to individuality in many forms. So now we're seeing the individuals. We're not seeing the whole. We're not seeing the divine. We're seeing the individual forms in this delusion, in this Maya of Shankya, where we're seeing all the Maya that keeps us from understanding the reality of unity. Omnipresent, immortal, the goddess of high places and low, darkness is repelled by the light. So now, this light is omnipresent. This darkness is also omnipresent. I got to tell you a little story. One day, darkness went to the Lord and said, Lord, I know that you have perfection pervading throughout your creation. I read it in the Vedas. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnamudachyate. It's all perfect. Now, I know because it's perfect, you've got a reason for everything. Nothing happens without your order, and I want to know the reason why the sun is always chasing me around the earth. I mean, from the big dawn of creation, the sun has been chasing me around the earth, and after all these years, I'm tired, and I'd like to sit down, I'd like to take rest. Just for a minute, let me catch my breath. Lord, please tell me, why is the sun chasing me around the earth? And the Lord said, well, I better ask the sun about this. He called the sun, darkness departed. He said, Sun, Why are you always chasing darkness around the earth? Since the dawn of creation, darkness has been fleeing from you. And you've been chasing her all around the earth, and she never gets the chance to rest. Now tell me, what is the meaning of your behavior? And the son said, Lord, I'm so sorry for any inappropriate behavior, but I have never seen darkness. You please bring darkness to me and show her to me, and I promise I won't chase her away. So, omnipresent, immortal, the goddess of places high and low, darkness is repelled by the light. The light never saw the darkness. The darkness sees the light coming and flees. She gave this definition to her sister, the dawning light. That's darkness is giving definition. The light is coming, I better split. The goddess who comes and the darkness departs. Now that's why we're praising this darkness. Thanks for leaving. It was really nice of you to leave. She is ours now. May we see her effortless, unimpaired movements upon the earth as a bird sees from its dwelling in a tree, remaining only the witness. So remember the Vedic proverb, there were two birds sitting in the tree. One of the birds was busy pecking at all the fruits in the tree, and the other merely sat and watched. So now we're saying, may we see her effortless, unimpaired movements upon the earth. This is the goddess of light. May we see the light as the bird sees from its dwelling in the tree. We can be the witness without attachment. Darkness has fled. And now, here we are, the bird in the tree who is the witness of all activity in creation. For the entire host of humanity, for animals who traverse by foot or birds who fly in the air, she is the object of desperate search. That's what we're all looking for. Every one of us in every activity is looking for she, the goddess of light. In everything we do is designed to bring us closer to the light, to put us into a greater state of perfection. Drive away the wolves of confusion, these animalistic propensities that cause us confusion. Dispel the wolves of egotism, the thieves. Kam, trod, lo, mo, modamatsaja. Hunger and thirst and greed, illusion, grief and death. They are the thieves that are stealing from us the true nature of the soul. They're stealing from us. These wolves who are devouring our divine nature, our divinity, they're stealing from us every effort that we make to illuminate divinity. They steal them from us. Drive them away, O goddess of light. The all-pervasive darkness is near to me, existing as individual forms in the blackness. O dawning light, dismiss this ignorance. Usha, Usha, please dismiss this ignorance. Bring the sunrise. O dawning light, dawn on me. And let this darkness and this individuality and all the blackness that surrounds me dissolve into the light. O daughter of the heavens, Usha, you have been gratified as by a privileged cow. That is, my nectar-like words are just like the milk of pure nourishment from a very beautiful cow. The most privileged cow in the Goshala. That's the cow's milk that I'm going to offer to you with the nectar of my words. O Night of Duality, may this hymn be victorious. Be joyful. Hey, Night of Duality, thanks for leaving. It was nice to have you here, and it's even nicer with you gone. Thank you so much. And that is the Vedic praise of the goddess. And now let's talk about the Tantric praise of the goddess, which comes from Chandi. And the reason it's called the Tantric praise of the goddess, remember, Brahma was sitting there in the lotus coming from out Vishnu's navel, and too much and too little said, hey, that looks like a nice place for us to sit. Let us devour the creative capacity and stifle the creativity of the consciousness of the universe. We will make him or her bereft of creativity. We will just devour your creativity. Vishnu was asleep. Brahma said, hey, I'm an old man and I can't fight with these two strong, heroic warriors. I better wake up Vishnu. He said, Vishnu, wake up. And Vishnu didn't move. He said, oh, Vishnu! Vishnu didn't move. He said, whoa, Vishnu is in Yoga Nidra. He is under the spell, in the sleep of perfect union. Yoga Nidra. And here is another form of darkness. That he's oblivious. Too much and too little are stifling my creativity. They're about to devour my creative capacity. And Vishnu is totally in darkness to the outside world. I am going to praise the goddess of darkness and let her wake up Vishnu so that he can protect me. And that's why this is called the Tantric praise of the Night of Duality. So the revered one of brilliant light, that's Brahma, that's the creative capacity within each of us, who is facing immediate harm, impending destruction by the forces of too much and too little. They're saying, hey, get off that asan. You can't sit there, you guys. You can't meditate. Get up and get some more. Get up and get rid of some. You don't have the right amount. Don't sit there. And the revered one of brilliant light extolled the ruler of the universe, the creator of the perceivable world, the cause of evolution and involution or devolution, the goddess of sleep, the unequaled energy of consciousness, and the creative capacity. Said Brahma Vacha, you are oblations of I am one with God. Swaha. God is my own. You are oblations of union with ancestors. Swadha. Those who support are my own. You are oblations of purity and the consciousness of all sound. You are the eternal essence of all letters and the consciousness of the three vowels. Uma, Aim, Ring, Clean, all the threes. You are the consciousness of all the threes. You are the eternal half vowel, or anuswar. Anuswar, the sound of an atom. Anuswar. The song of an atom. That half vowel and its special mode of pronunciation, and we all know that it comes like a yawn from where the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth unite. And the access of the Shushumna, which is the Merudanda that comes from the Muladhara to the Sahasrara, and come in, and at that point, the junction between the two planes, you emanate as a long, the special mode of pronunciation. You are the time of prayer. You are the bearer of the light. You are the goddess above all beings born. The universe is sustained by you, and the perceivable world is created by you. You protect what you create, O divine goddess, and you are the end for all. The origin and the terminus, the adi ant, and everything in between. As the creator, you are the form of the creation. And as the form of the circumstances, you are its maintenance. Srishti, Sthiti. Then at the conclusion, as the form of dissolution, Loy, of perceivable existence, you are the almighty measurement of being. When you make Mahapraloy, and there's a complete Sanghar, there is not any duality remaining. Then you are the measurement of all existence. You are what is remaining. The great knowledge, the great measurement, the great intellect, the great recollection, the great ignorance too, and your ladyship, the great goddess and great source of strength. So she is knowledge, she is ignorance. She is this Maya of Vedanta, which says there's only one measurement of true existence, and she is this Maya of Shankya, which says that I can't see the one, all I see is the many. I'm so busy with this world and worldliness that I can't see oneness. She's the ignorance, and she's the wisdom. You are nature and the three qualities that you manifest in all. Aim, ring, cling, Sattva, Rajatam, the three gunas. The night of time, the great night, and the night of ignorance. You are prosperity. You are the consciousness of all. You are humility. You are the intellect and the goal of all knowledge. Modesty, increase, then complete satisfaction. You are peace and patient forgiveness. You bear the sword of wisdom and the pike of concentration, the club of articulation. Every time we say a mantra and we articulate that mantra, we beat another Ashura over the head with our club of articulation and the discus of revolving time. As you present a frightful form, here we have, it takes time, guys. We need patience because it does take time. You bear the concha vibrations and the bow of determination and other weapons as well. You are mild and gentle and the ultimate of attractiveness and incomparable beauty. Above and beyond that, and even again superior, you are the supreme consciousness. Whatsoever exists in thought or perception, whether true or untrue, the energy of everything in all is you. If I can think it, or I can see it, I can perceive it through any sensory perception, I can dream it, I can hypothesize. It's all you. Whether it's true or correct or false or incorrect, doesn't matter, it's you. Because you are everything. The energy of everything in all is you. Then what can be sung in your praise? If he who is the evolution, circumstance, and devolution of the perceivable world, Srishti, Sthiti, and Lord, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, is subject to the sleep that you have caused, then what can be sung in your praise? Who has the capacity to express the limits of infinity? How can I begin to extol your qualities? your characteristics. The creator of the universe, the protector of the universe, the one who dissolves and transforms the universe is subject to your will. If God himself is a servant of Maya, then what will I say about you? You cause the maintaining capacity, that's Vishnu, and the dissolving capacity, that's Shiva, and myself as well. That's me. Brahma, the creative capacity I'm extolling. Please don't let my creativity dissolve. Don't let me succumb to too much and too little. Allow me to create something, please. You cause Vishnu and Shiva and me too to wear bodies. Hence, for this reason and for this cause, who has sufficient ability to sing your praise? O divine goddess, you and your heavenly and bounteous manifestations have been extolled. Cause the ignorance of egotism to fall upon those two thoughts so difficult to understand, too much and too little. Awaken the consciousness of the master of the world and rouse him from sleep, and let him conquer these two great thoughts for me and beget wisdom. And look at how clever Brahma was. He said, hey, I know that these guys, if they are deluded by their own egotism, they're going to put their own foot in their own mouths. They're going to destroy their energy themselves. And it won't be difficult for Vishnu to slay them. All you have to do is awaken the consciousness of the master of the world. Everybody awaken the consciousness of the master of the world. Please awaken the consciousness of the master of the world. Rouse him from his sleep. Don't let him sleep. Every one of your Vishnus should rise up and conquer these two thoughts for the sustenance of the creative capacity. Let too much and too little get deluded by the strength of their own egotism. It won't be hard for them to make a mistake. We'll just send them off to heaven. I want just the right amount so that I can continue to create in peace. Please awaken your Vishnu and let him protect. He's the protector. Let him protect the creative capacity within. Don't let your creativity succumb to too much and too little. Find your balance and stay there. Oh. Let's see if there are any questions.
Swamiji, the two, you said that the praise of the dark goddess of duality.
Yes.
It's a bridge, the Chandi part, Durga Saptashati is a bridge between these two.
Yes, between the Ratri Shukta and the Devi Shukta.
But the Chandi part itself is part of Markandeya Purana.
Yes.
And also as also all the other angas.
No, the other angas are coming from various sources, not connected to Markandeya Purana.
And this is also coming from a different...
No, this comes from Markandeya Purana. This one, this Tantric Praise comes from chapter 1 of the Chandi.
Mm-hmm. But the Rig Veda comes from it. Is it common in the Puranas when Markandeya Muni writes the Puranas? Is the person who writes it, do they put this together in this way?
Yes.
And he wrote it so that we could understand that if we just read the Rig Veda, the Night of Duality and this, we would not understand. But he's telling us, you read this and you do this sadhana of the Chandi for you to reach the light.
And then you'll reach the understanding of the Rig Vedic Devi Sukta. So the Chandi Pat, the actual 700 verses of the Chandi, begins with the Vedic Ratri Sukta and is completed with the Vedic Devi Sukta. Now, how do we get from the praise of the goddess of darkness to arrive at the union with the goddess of unity? The Chandi is the path that explains the sadhana step by step. How do we move from recognizing individuality in the darkness, the ignorance of delusion, to recognizing the goddess who is in unity, where she travels with all the gods. She supports all the creation. She is one with everything, and we are one with her. How do you get to that understanding? How do you achieve that realization? Read the Chandi. Other question, please.
Swamiji, why? I know you said that Vishnu is the protector, but why is he the one that fights with too much and too little? In a practical sense, is there?
Yes, the protecting consciousness will protect us. They're all connected, and there's only one warrior. That's me. My Brahma, my Vishnu, my Shiva are going to lead me in the battle. And these particular demons have one boons that require that we call upon various aspects of the goddess to energize, withdraw their energy from the demons, and make them weak and foolish, and give that energy to the gods and make them strong and intelligent, so the gods will be victorious over the demons will be defeated in the battle, the demons will go to heaven, the gods will remain in control of the purity and clarity and all the pure qualities that we wish them to keep. And for this reason, we're praising the goddess and saying, okay, now please withdraw your energy from the negative forces inside my brain. I don't want them to have any energy. When they send me a thought, I just want it to be a limp thought that I can dispose of immediately. And if you want to give energy to anyone, then give it to the gods within, because those gods are going to be so strong and formidable, they'll be well armed, and when any demonical negative thought comes and tries to attack my mind, they won't stand a chance. Please.
Swamiji, a question from Srini. In the story from the Puranas, Lord Brahma lied and was cursed by Lord Shiva that he would not be worshipped except in a Shiva temple. Is this just a story, a tradition, or does it imply something for our own creative capacity?
It implies much for our own creative capacity, Srini Baba. Do you know, many of us have a difficult time organizing our creativity. We know we want to do something, and we want to make an expression of the sincerity of our devotion, and yet we have constraints. Our creativity is bottled up, and it's so difficult to extract that creative essence from ourselves that we tend to just find a job and do something else. Because we can't think, how do I express that creativity in a way that will be meaningful and valuable to many people? So you know what? It did happen that Brahma was cursed because he told a lie. And he's not worshipped well as prevalently as Vishnu, who protects, or as Shiva, who transforms. Because we all see that we're in transformation. We all see that we need protection, but not all of us see how do we take that creative essence out from the innermost sanctums of our temple and put it out there where everyone can enjoy it. And in this way, Srini Baba, Brahma's lack of worship is evident.
Question from Nanda from San Jose.
Namaste, Nanda Maha.
Pranam Ma and Swamiji, can you please tell us what is the difference between a Suktam and a Stotram?
No.
Thank you very much.
No! There's no difference. A Suktam and a Stotram. Usually a Stotram is written in Sama and a Suktam is written in Pava. So, that's one difference. But the differences are so small, you'd have to be a nitpicking pundit in order to explain it.
In verse 4 of the Devi Ratri Suktam,
Yes.
it is said that she is ours now.
Yeah!
In the verse 3, it said that darkness departs.
Yes.
So is the she referred to in verse 4 the dawning light?
Yes! Yes, it's true. She is ours now, and she's the dawning light, and we are full of Usha. We are full of the light of wisdom. The dawning light is ours. And now, you remember the story, the sun never saw darkness. So fill ourselves with the dawning light, and we'll never see darkness. Even when too much and too little come to attack us, we'll say, hey, we know what our goal is. And we know just how much we need in order to achieve our goal. So now, how does too much and too little have any effect on us? We have just the right amount. Please.
So a follow-up question on Srini is, how do we worship Brahma so that it does come out and flourish?
Well, the way we worship Brahma is to do the puja, and do the sadhana, and do the chandi, and then figure out what your values are, what your goals are, what your objectives are, and then how do I want to make it manifest?
Swamiji, question from Ambika from New Jersey.
Namaste, Ambika Ma.
Can you please speak to us about patient forgiveness and how to develop that quality in our lives? Thank you.
Shanti Rupena Samstita. It's patience and it's forgiveness. And I've got to forgive others and I've got to forgive myself because I know I'm going to blow it too. And how do we cultivate that? We cultivate that through the sadhana. Through the Chandi sadhana is the best way I know how. Because you see, as we are expanding the length of our asana, we have to cultivate patience because somebody's going to come and say, hey, that's not comfortable, get up! Move your knee, move your leg, stretch your foot, do something, get up! And we will be patient and understanding and forgive ourselves for the times where we have to get up and try to make it a little longer and a little longer and a little longer. It just expand your asana 5 minutes a month. Just 5 minutes a month. It's not hard. Every one of us can do it. 5 minutes more. Put the clock there and don't get up until it's 5 minutes more. And the end of the first year, you'll be sitting an hour. And the end of the second year, you'll be sitting 2 hours. Mine was 40 years ago. Now I sit 40 hours a day.
Question from Kumari from Valley Hill.
Namaste, Kumari Ma.
The Ratri Suktam purports to be about the dark goddess Ratri. But apparently only the first 3 verses are about her. From verse 4 onwards, it appears that the light goddess is being described. Is this correct?
Yep, it is. And what a joy. We get to praise the goddess of darkness because she left and because of what she left behind. Her sister, the light. So as soon as we see the light, we don't want to go back to the darkness anymore. Some of us. Some of us say, God, it's so neat to dwell in the light. Who wants the darkness? And if I can figure out how to stay with the light, then why should I go back to the darkness? Why should I allow those wolves to devour me, tear at my flesh? The egotism, the thieves. Why should I allow them? I'll call on the goddess of light. Oh, goddess of light, save me, protect me. Show me what I can do to be in the light all the time. And she said to me, go to the Devi Mandir and sing the Chandi every day. Well, I'm no dummy. That's what I did. And that's why I have this brilliant satsang. All these illuminated beings to associate with, who are filled with light.
Swamiji, in verse 2, it says that she is omnipresent, immortal, the goddess of places high and low. But we just said that she's not omnipresent. She leaves when the goddess of light comes.
Darkness is repelled by the light.
Yeah, so but here we are saying she's omnipresent.
Yeah, and she is repelled by the light. So the light is omnipresent.
Oh, so even this verse is talking about the goddess
Of light. Yeah. And both are true. Because wherever you have light, there has to be darkness in order for you to know that there's a light there.
A question from Nanda. The Tantric praise is more direct. The praise is evident. The Vedic praise is cryptic. I understand the different words, but put it together and it's not very clear to understand. Does the understanding of the Suktam happen through sadhana and intuition? Because it really is not very clear.
Vedic Sanskrit is much more poetic, whereas Tantric or Puranic Sanskrit is much more demonstrative. So here in this tantric form of praise, we're saying directly, hey, you, I know who you are, and this is how I describe you. And in the Vedic praise, we are saying, you are like the light that illuminates the darkness. And darkness has departed, and she is our benefactor because she left us. And she exposed you, and we're free from her now. So it's a form of poetry. Now remember, in the Vedas, there are these Suktams which are independent and individual. So there's a praise of the goddess of darkness, there's a praise of the goddess of dawn, there's a praise of the sunrise, there's a praise of the midday, and they're not exactly in chronological order. Now in the Chandi, there's a story. So we have one thread that's going right through the story, and of course it's much more easily discernible, because we're telling a story, and that's how it comes out in a chronological order. Are there any other questions? Yes? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, in verse 3 on the Ratri Suktam, you are the eternal half-vowel and its special mode of pronunciation.
We said the anuswara. It's the M with the dot.
Okay.
And actually it's anuswara. It's the song of an animal. It's the sound of one spot. And it's the nasal, and it's pronounced differently around in India. And of course, in California, it's pronounced correctly. Yes, please.
Yes, Swamiji, in yesterday's class, we were saying that in one stage of the development of an aspirant, there's the removal of the pin is starting to go on. It happens. Somehow it's mystical how it happens, but it happens. And today we're saying there's a second thing that has to happen, which is awakening the consciousness. So my question is there a tandem process going on between removing of the pin and awakening of the consciousness?
Are they tandem? No, they're the same process.
They're the same process.
It's the same process. We're removing the pin, which means we're unlocking the secrets, which means that we're getting closer and closer to opening the doors of the secret of perceiving consciousness.
Right.
That is, the perceiver will perceive perception. Or the perceiver will perceive the perceived.
Yeah.
There's only one. It's all consciousness. So now here, when in the process of opening up the pin means I can open up the door to the secret, means I can enter into the mystery of consciousness perceiving its own self. And that's the mystery. That's the, you can't say it's mystery in the sense that it's mystical. It's a mystical experience, not in the sense that we have to call Inspector Clouseau to come and find out the answer for us, but it's a mystery in the sense that it's mystic. It's totally mystic, intuitive experience. It's not a rational experience, consciousness perceiving itself. What does that mean? Intellectually. Who amongst us could define it? What Rishi could say more than niti niti? So that's the mystery, that we open the door to the secret and find the mystery. Consciousness is awakening to its own perception. I am the only being in existence, and all of this is my extension. It's not a figment of my imagination, it's an extension of my being. And that is the reality. And now, how do we get there? This is the sadhana by which we get to that understanding. Om Sat Saraswati Namaha. Namaste.
I love Chandi. I love Jami because Chandi is mommy.
It's true. Anybody with mommy is no dummy.